There is a place in the world where heaven seems to touch earth in unexpected ways. A place that attracts hearts thirsting for something more, for a glimpse of the divine. Imagine a gathering where the deep faith of those who fervently believe blends with a spiritual quest, perhaps more experimental, of those called visionaries or sensitives. A moment of silence filled with expectation, where everyone present, each in their own way, opens their hearts to the possibility of contact with something greater. And it is precisely in this unique setting, in Medjugorje, that a fascinating narrative unfolds, challenging what many would consider impossible. Stay with us, for what this story reveals about faith, perception, and the mysterious paths of spirituality may deeply surprise you. And before we delve into this story, we want to extend a quick and urgent invitation. Is there someone in your life, a friend, a family member, a neighbor, who you know is going through difficulties right now and desperately needs a special prayer? Someone whose name you would like to place in the hands of Our Lady? Write the name of this person or people below in the comments right now. We will gather all these names and include them in our main prayer with the Holy Rosary, asking for divine intercession for their lives. The setting for this story is Medjugorje, a village that has become a meeting point for souls seeking answers, comfort, and miracles. On a day like so many others, but charged with a particular energy, a group gathered in a place dedicated to prayer, awaiting what they believed would be a moment of special communication. They were people of unshakable faith, who lived their beliefs in every gesture, side by side with individuals known for their abilities of extrasensory perception, seers or sensitives, who approached the spiritual through perhaps less doctrinal paths, but equally profound in their search for connection. The atmosphere was a palpable mix of reverence, hope, and a quiet curiosity about what could happen when these different ways of connecting with the invisible united in a common purpose: to be open to the Mother's presence. The session began in a traditional manner for the location: intense prayers, soul-lifting chants, and an atmosphere of devotion filling the air. The faithful, rosaries in hand, immersed themselves in deep prayers, feeling a communion with one another and with the spiritual realm. Meanwhile, the seers or sensitives in the group, with their specific practices, sought to enter a state of trance or altered consciousness, a kind of bridge to capture the vibrations and messages that, according to them, floated between the worlds. There was a clear difference in methods, in the way of placing oneself before the divine, but the intention of opening oneself to spiritual communication was the same for all. Time seemed to dissolve in this state of active waiting, where each second was filled by the individual and collective search for a sign, a word, or simply the feeling of a presence that would comfort and guide. As the session reached its climax, the moment when the manifestation was expected, something subtle began to shift in the atmosphere. It wasn't a loud sound nor a blinding light, but a change in the very texture of the air, a serenity that slowly descended, enveloping everyone. The faithful felt their prayers deepen, as if an invisible hand touched their hearts, bringing a peace that transcended understanding. At the same time, the visionaries, immersed in their trance-like states, began to display unusual reactions. Their faces, previously focused inward, showed surprise, astonishment, and in some cases, an expression of profound admiration that didn't seem to come from their usual visions, but from something that caught them completely off guard, something shared. And it was at that precise moment, when the fervent faith of the believers and the heightened perception of the sensitives met on the threshold of the sacred, that the unbelievable happened. An absolute silence descended upon the place, not just the absence of sound, but a silence that seemed to fill everything, a dense and vibrant silence unlike any other. And within this silence, an overwhelming yet incredibly gentle presence enveloped everyone. It wasn't something everyone saw in the same way, but something collectively felt with indescribable intensity. It was a sensation of unconditional love, of complete acceptance, of a purity so overwhelming that it dissolved fears, doubts, and even the boundaries between the different ways of being there. Believers and visionaries, each in their own state, were touched by the same wave of grace. The individual reaction to this shared event was mesmerizing. For the faithful, this profound peace and sense of love powerfully confirmed their prayers, as if the Mother herself were there, embracing them one by one, validating each prayer and each tear of devotion. Many felt their burdens instantly lifted, a lightness of soul they had never experienced before. For the visionaries, however, the experience was even more disconcerting and revelatory. Some reported that the power of this presence was so pure and universal that it momentarily pulled them from their habitual trances, showing them that the deepest connection did not depend on specific techniques or altered states, but on a simple and total opening of the heart, something that genuine faith seemed to manifest directly. It was a shock of insight, a lesson in the simplicity and depth of spiritual contact that transcended their own practices. As the vibrant silence began to dissipate and the intense sensation gently receded, leaving behind a trail of peace and wonder, the atmosphere changed again. People opened their eyes, many with tears on their faces, but not of sadness, but of a deep, purifying emotion. They began to exchange glances, and then whispers. The faithful shared the overwhelming peace they felt, the certainty of divine presence. The visionaries, still recovering from the intensity and unexpectedness of the experience, expressed their astonishment. It wasn't like other times, some said. It was something that reached us in a different way, more direct, less mediated. There was a mutual sense that something extraordinary and unifying had happened, something that blended and transcended their different approaches to spirituality, leaving everyone immersed in the same atmosphere of wonder and questioning. This particular session resonated long in the memories of those who experienced it. It served as a powerful reminder that the divine is not limited to our categories or our preferred ways of seeking it. Grace can manifest in ways that defy logic, reaching both the simplest and most devout heart and the most complex and spiritually exploring mind. The shared experience, despite the different lenses through which it was processed, showed that, deep down, the search for connection, love, and peace is universal, and that the answer to this search can come in unexpected ways, uniting those who seemed separated by their practices or beliefs about how the spiritual world works. It left everyone with the certainty that the mystery of faith and spiritual perception is far greater than we can comprehend, and that opening the heart is perhaps the most important key to any kind of sacred encounter. In this context, we cannot forget Mirjana Soldo's trances in Medjugorje. This is a theme that pulses in the hearts of millions of believers with an almost palpable force, charged with that sacred blend of mystery, unshakable faith, and a peace that only those who experience it can understand. Mirjana, one of the most renowned visionaries of that blessed land, entered a trance-like state during her apparitions, moments that seemed to transcend time and space, connecting heaven and earth in a profound and moving way. It is as if, in that instant, the veil between the human and the divine were torn, and the gathered believers, with their fervent hearts, surrendered to an experience of faith so pure that it echoes in the reverent silence, in their fixed gaze, and in their unison prayer. During these moments of trance, the atmosphere around Mirjana transforms into something almost indescribable, a calm so profound that it seems to soothe even the most agitated hearts and bring a peace that surpasses all human understanding. The faithful, aware of the miracle taking place, unite their voices and hearts in fervent prayer, knowing that this moment is a divine invitation to encounter God, through the intercession of the Virgin Mary. It is in this sacred silence, filled with emotion and hope, that the true power of faith is perceived, an invisible but unbreakable bond that unites all the souls present, bringing comfort, healing, and an unshakable trust in divine providence. The presence of Our Lady through Medjugorje is felt as a heavenly embrace, a confirmation that we are never alone, even in the most difficult moments. And it is in this profound communion between Medjugorje, the believers, and the divine that the true essence of Medjugorje is revealed, a place where faith transcends the visible and becomes nourishment for the soul. Each trance is a living testimony of God's mercy, a reminder for all who seek inner peace and spiritual transformation. At the end of each experience, peace remains like an unquenchable flame, encouraging perseverance in prayer, love, and hope. Medjugorje is not just a visionary. She is a channel of grace, a symbol of total surrender to God's will, inspiring thousands to renew their faith and walk in the light of the Virgin Mary, with hearts filled with peace and souls open to the miracles of heaven. This story, with its layers of faith, perception, and the unexpected touch of the sacred, makes us reflect on our own spiritual journey and our daily lives. Just as we seek signs and connections in special moments, the greatest strength of our faith lies in constant prayer, the kind we pray silently in our rooms, on the way to work, or in difficult times. It lies in the daily act of seeking peace in our hearts, forgiving those who have hurt us, being instruments of conversion through our life's example, and cultivating a faith that remains steadfast in the face of challenges. Prayer for those we love, or even for strangers in need of help, is an essential pillar of this journey, a bond of solidarity that strengthens not only the one receiving the prayer but also the one offering it. If you haven't commented before, or if you think of someone else who needs the light of prayer at this time, don't waste time. Leave their name below in the comments so we can include them in our main prayer chain with the rosary. What did you think of this story? Do you believe that faith, spiritual seeking, and openness to mystery can generate experiences as profound and unexpected as the one we just recounted? Do you believe that different paths can lead to the same encounter with the sacred? Leave your honest opinion below in the comments. We'd love to read and interact with you. Your participation is very important to us and our entire community. If this story touched you, made you think, or brought you some reflection or hope, don't forget to like it. It's a simple gesture, but it greatly helps YouTube understand this content's relevance and show it to more people who can benefit from it. And if you're not yet part of our spiritual family, click the subscribe button now and activate the notification bell so you don't miss our next videos, stories, and reflections we've lovingly prepared for you. May the light of faith illuminate your path, and may you find the peace and hope you seek. Thank you for being with us. God bless you.